The attorney slid the document across the table. "Are you certain about this?" I picked up the pen. My hand didn't shake. Completely certain. I signed my name on the line that cut my mother out of my will, every single dollar, every asset, gone. You're probably wondering what kind of person disinherits their own mother. Let me tell you. My mother gave away my dog while I was at college, just got rid of him like he was trash. When I called her, devastated, she said 4 words I'll never forget. "It's just an animal." But here's what she didn't know. I had proof she'd planned it all along. Proof she'd tried to steal my inheritance. Proof of everything. And by the time I was done, she had nothing. What would you do if the person who was supposed to protect you destroyed the one thing that kept you alive? Drop your country and the time below. And if you've ever had to choose yourself over family, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to hear this. Let me take you back to the day I left for college. I need you to understand what my mother was like. Growing up, she controlled everything. What I wore, who I talked to, what time I came home. If I pushed back even a little, the guilt trip started. "After everything I've done for you, you're so ungrateful. No one will ever love you like I do." By the time I was 16, I was drowning, anxiety, depression, panic attacks in the school bathroom. My therapist said I needed something to anchor me. An emotional support animal. I saved for 8 months. Birthday money, babysitting jobs, every dollar. Then I met Max at the shelter. He was a 3-year-old golden retriever mix. Brown eyes, floppy ears. The moment he put his head in my lap, something in my chest unlocked. I paid the adoption fee myself. Vet bills, food, training, everything was in my name. Max wasn't just a pet. He was the first living thing that loved me without conditions. My mother tolerated him. Barely. Your expensive hobby. That dog better not ruin my furniture. But Max got me through 2 more years of high school, college applications. The day my acceptance letter came, I was so happy I cried. My mother smiled, but it was tight, cold. You'll see how hard the real world is. I got a full scholarship 3 hours away. I planned to bring Max after first semester once I found pet-friendly housing on campus. The day I left, Max's eyes followed me to the car. Confused, scared, my mother stood on the porch. "Don't worry," she said. "I'll take care of him." I believed her, and that's something I'll regret for the rest of my life. 6 weeks into my freshman year, I called home. Classes were brutal. I was homesick. I just wanted to hear Max's bark in the background. My mother answered on the 4th ring. "Oh, hi." Her voice was flat, distracted. "Hey, Mom, can you put the phone near Max? I just want to say hi." Silence. "Mom, he's not here." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean he's not there?" "Is he at the vet?" "No, I rehomed him." The room tilted. "You what?" "I found him a nice family, a farm 2 towns over. He's happier there." I couldn't breathe. "Where? Give me the address. I'm coming to get him." "Absolutely not." "You're being dramatic. You're in college now. You're too busy for a dog." "Mom, he's mine. You had no right." "I had every right. I'm not spending my money on vet bills and kibble for your pet. You need to grow up." My voice cracked. "He's not just a pet. He's family." She laughed, actually laughed. "It's just an animal. Get over it." I was shaking, tears streaming down my face. "Please, just tell me where he is." "No, and stop embarrassing yourself." She paused. When she spoke again, her tone shifted. Softer. Calculated. "You know, speaking of responsibility, your grandmother left you all that money, that trust fund. Have you thought about helping out your family? I raised you for 18 years. You owe me." I hung up. My hands were trembling so hard I dropped the phone. I tried everything. I called every shelter within 30 miles, posted in local Facebook groups, contacted animal control. Nothing. My mother blocked my number. My grades started slipping. I couldn't focus, couldn't sleep. The panic attacks came back, worse than before. I missed Max so much it felt like something had been ripped out of my chest. My university counselor listened to the whole story. She was kind, patient. "Do you have any documentation that the dog was yours?" I nodded. "Then you might have a legal case. But it's going to be hard. You're 3 hours away, you're 18, and lawyers are expensive." A week later, my mother texted me from a new number. "Stop embarrassing yourself. He's happy. Move on." I stared at that message for an hour. I thought about dropping out, going home, camping out at every farm in a 50-mile radius until I found him, but I had $19 in my bank account. No car. And a mother who would call the cops on me if I showed up. I felt completely powerless. I thought I'd lost him forever, and I thought I'd lost myself too. Then I remembered something. My mother didn't know I kept everything. Every email, every text, every voicemail. I opened my messages and started scrolling back, and what I found made everything clear. I scrolled back 2 months. 3, 4, there, August 10th, 2 weeks before I left for college. A text thread between my mother and my Aunt Carol. My mother had written, "Once she's gone, I'm getting rid of that dog. I'm not spending my money on vet bills and food for some mutt. She'll get over it." My aunt replied, "Are you sure? She loves that dog." My mother's response, "She's too dependent on it. College will toughen her up. Besides, I've got better things to do than play dog sitter." I took screenshots of everything. She hadn't rehomed Max because I was too busy. She'd planned it before I even left. I kept reading. 3 days later, another text. "Carol, do you know anything about trust funds? Her grandmother left her a fortune and I can't even touch it. It's not fair. I raised her." I sat there staring at my phone. The dog wasn't the goal. The dog was leverage. I pulled up my files. The adoption contract I'd signed at the shelter. Max's microchip registration. Vet records. Every single one listed me as the owner. Not her, me. Max was legally mine, and she'd stolen him. I didn't cry this time. I got cold, because now I knew exactly what she was. And I had proof. I started asking family members if they knew where Max was. Cousins, aunts, my uncle. Word got back to my mother. She called me from Aunt Carol's phone. I picked up, thinking it was my aunt. It wasn't. "What do you think you're doing?" My mother's voice was shaking with rage. "Trying to find my dog. You're turning the whole family against me. Do you know how embarrassing this is? Tell me where he is and I'll stop." "No, and if you keep this up, you're going to regret it." She hung up. 2 days later, she showed up at my dorm, unannounced. My roommate opened the door. My mother pushed past her, all smiles. "Sweetheart, we need to talk." She set a folder on my desk, opened it, legal papers. "This is a co-trustee authorization form. You sign this and I can help you manage your grandmother's money. You're young, you don't understand finances. I'm trying to protect you." I looked at the document. It would give her access to my $400,000 trust fund. "No," her smile vanished. "Excuse me." "I'm not signing that." Her voice went ice cold. "Then I'm taking you off my health insurance, and you'll never know where your dog is. You have 48 hours. She walked out. My roommate stared at me. "What just happened?" I didn't answer. I was already dialing a number I'd found in my grandmother's old papers. The estate attorney. His name was Mr. Brennan. He'd been my grandmother's attorney for 20 years. I met him at his office the next morning, told him everything. He listened without interrupting. Then he opened a file cabinet. "Your mother has tried this before." He pulled out a folder 3 inches thick. Twice, actually. Once when your grandmother was still alive. Once 3 months after she passed. Both times, she petitioned to be named co-trustee of your fund. My blood went cold. Both petitions were denied. Your grandmother had explicitly structured the trust to exclude your mother from any control. He slid a printed email across the desk. The subject line read, "Concern for minor beneficiary." My mother had sent it to his firm a year ago. In it, she claimed I was mentally unstable, unable to manage money. She cited my emotional support dog as evidence of dangerous emotional dysfunction. She tried to have me declared incompetent. Mr. Brennan's voice was calm, clinical. "We flagged this as a potential elder abuse attempt. Your grandmother was very ill at the time of the first petition. We believed your mother was trying to access your funds before your grandmother could protect them." He looked at me. "Your mother is persistent, and she's desperate." I felt numb. "What do I do?" He leaned back. "That depends. What do you want?" Mr. Brennan pulled one more document. I took the liberty of running a basic public record search. He handed me a printout. My mother had $47,000 in credit card debt, 2 car loans, a home equity line of credit that was 30 days from default. She was drowning. Your grandmother's estate was worth $1.2 million. You received $400,000 in trust. Your mother received nothing. He turned the page. There was a handwritten note in my grandmother's will. I exclude my daughter from any inheritance due to years of financial exploitation and manipulation. She borrowed $30,000 from me in 2018 and never repaid a cent. I will not enable her further. My grandmother had cut her out on purpose. I remembered the last time I saw her. She was in hospice. She took my hand. Don't let her take what's yours. I thought she meant the money, but she meant me. My mother wasn't trying to help me manage my trust. She was trying to survive. And Max, the dog who saved my life, was just a bargaining chip. Collateral damage in her plan to get what my grandmother had refused to give her. I looked up at Mr. Brennan. I want her gone, completely. He nodded. Then let's get to work. I hired him on the spot, paid the retainer from a small distribution my trust allowed for legal expenses. Mr. Brennan laid out the plan. Step 1, draft a cease and desist letter. My mother was not to contact me by phone, email, text, or in person. Step 2, file a formal statement with the trust administrator, flagging the fraud attempts and confirming I was of sound mind. Step 3, draft a new will. I was only 19, but I had assets. And I wanted it in writing. My mother would inherit nothing. Not now, not ever. Step 4, hire a private investigator to locate Max through legal channels. Step 5, if my mother violated the cease and desist, we'd file for a restraining order. I signed every document he put in front of me. It felt like breathing for the first time in months. Mr. Brennan shook my hand. One more thing, I'd suggest inviting your mother to a meeting here. Neutral ground. Witnesses present. Let her know exactly where she stands. I smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. Set it up. 3 days later, the private investigator called. He'd found Max. The microchip registration led him straight to the new family. They had no idea my mother had lied to them. She'd told them I abandoned him. I thanked him, took down the address. Then I made one final call. Mom, we need to talk. Meet me at Mr. Brennan's office on Friday. 2 p.m., she sounded so confident. Finally seeing sense? I didn't answer, I just hung up. Friday came. My mother walked into Mr. Brennan's conference room like she owned it. She was smiling, confident. Then she saw who else was there. Mr. Brennan, his paralegal, a court reporter, and Aunt Carol. Her smile faltered. What is this? I gestured to a chair. Sit down, Mom. She sat, slowly. Mr. Brennan opened a binder. We're here to present documentation regarding multiple attempts to defraud your daughter and her trust. My mother's face went white. I don't know what she's told you, but text messages from August 10th. He slid the first page across the table, in which you state, and I quote, "Once she's gone, I'm getting rid of that dog." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. Emails to this firm falsely claiming your daughter suffers from mental instability and is incapable of managing her own affairs. Another page. 2 separate petitions to be named co-trustee, both filed while your daughter was a minor, both denied. Another. Public records indicating significant financial distress, including $47,000 in unsecured debt. He stacked the pages neatly. And an adoption contract, microchip registration, and veterinary records all listing your daughter as the sole legal owner of the dog you unlawfully rehomed. Silence. My mother looked at me. Honey, I can explain. No, I pulled out a piece of paper. My hands were steady. I'm going to read you a statement, and then you're going to leave. I took a breath. You called Max just an animal. But he was the only family who ever loved me without conditions, without control, without price tags. Her eyes were filling with tears. I didn't stop. You are removed from my will, effective immediately. You are removed from my emergency contacts, my healthcare proxy, my life. If you contact me again, Mr. Brennan will file for a restraining order. The evidence is already prepared. She stood up. You can't do this, I'm your mother. I met her eyes. You were supposed to be, Mr. Brennan slid the cease and desist letter across the table. She picked it up, crumpled it in her fist. You're going to regret this. I'll tell everyone what an ungrateful, selfish... Ma'am, Mr. Brennan's voice was ice. Anything you say here is on the record. I'd suggest you leave now. She looked at Aunt Carol. "You're just going to sit there?" My aunt's voice was quiet, sad. "You did this to yourself." My mother grabbed her purse and stormed out. The door slammed behind her. I exhaled. It was over. The private investigator gave me the address. I drove 3 hours the next day. Max's new family met me at the door. They were kind, older couple, small farm. They had no idea. My mother had told them I'd gone to college and abandoned Max, that I didn't want him anymore. When I explained the truth and showed them the documents, they cried. "We're so sorry. We would never have taken him if we'd known." Max came running when he heard my voice. He jumped on me, licked my face, his whole body wiggling. He remembered. I could have taken him back that day. Legally, he was mine, but he was happy, healthy. They loved him, and tearing him away from another home felt cruel, so I made a different choice. We drafted a shared custody agreement. I'd visit twice a month. They'd send photos and updates, and I'd cover all his vet bills and expenses for the rest of his life. Money from the trust my grandmother left me. They agreed. Max got to stay in a home where he was loved. And I got him back, just in a different way. My mother tried to fight back. She posted on Facebook about her ungrateful daughter who cut her off. But Aunt Carol and 2 other family members posted the receipts in the comments, the text messages, the timeline. The post came down in under an hour. She tried to call from different numbers. I blocked everyone. She sent an unsigned card 6 months later. It just said, "I'm sorry." I filed it in a drawer labeled "Closed Chapters." I didn't respond. I started therapy. Real therapy. It took a year before I could say I didn't deserve that without crying. I graduated with honors, got a job I love, moved into my own apartment, and I used part of my trust to start a scholarship fund for first-generation college students who need help with pet deposits and vet bills, because no one should have to choose between an education and the animal that keeps them alive. Max is 8 now. Every time I visit, he still greets me like I'm his whole world. I keep my grandmother's photo on my desk. She was right. Family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up when you're broken and who breaks you on purpose. I chose the family that chose me. My mother taught me one thing: love without respect is just control. And I'll never let anyone control me again. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to cut off a parent or family member to protect yourself? What was your breaking point? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if this story helped you feel less alone, hit that subscribe button. Because you're not crazy for choosing peace. You deserve it. One last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization for educational purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're in a situation like this, please consult a licensed attorney and a therapist. Thank you for listening. And give your dog an extra treat tonight.